Hello guys, welcome all of you back with our web application development discussion series. Today we are going to look into how we can program our admin panel. So here we have our admin panel web page. In here we have our admin first name and last name. After that here we have our navigation panel. In this navigation panel, now we are in our dashboard. If we click on manage users, we can go into manage user web page. And if we click on manage products, we can go into manage product web page. After that, in here we have inserted the sorting part. We can select a date from here, and we click on the search button. It's going to display the products that are relevant to this duration, and we have displayed products using cards. And when we click on this view buttons, it's going to take us into single product view.php file, and the details of that product will be displayed in here. After that, here we have displayed daily earnings and the monthly earnings, and here we have our monthly earnings value and the today sellings. Since we haven't sold today, the items have been given as 0. And then here we have our monthly selling, total sellings and total engagement. The relevant value has been given under those labels. After that, in here we have given that admin's active time. Here we have given it using years, month, dates and hours, minutes and seconds. You can see here we have our time duration, and if we refresh this page, it's going to change accordingly. After that, in here we have inserted mostly sold item. Since we haven't sold anything recently, we have displayed the empty view design here. After that, in here we have our mostly famous seller detail displaying part. So let's go into our code and see how we have programmed this. Here we have our admin panel.php file. First we have inserted the PHP script here, and we have started the session from here, and we have imported our connection.php file into this admin panel.php file. After that, from here we have checked whether the admin user has logged into our web page or not. If this condition is true, then we have displayed this design. Here we have our admin name displaying part. Here we have given a PHP script, and we have set to print fname value from AU value which has been taken from our session, and we have concatenated our admin user's last name. We have taken it also from our session, and we have printed it in here. So after that, in here we have our navigation panel. Here we have our dashboard, and we have given its href as admin panel.php. So when the admin click on this dashboard, it's going to bring that admin into admin panel.php file. Then we have given manage users as the second navigation option. When the admin click on this, it's going to take that admin into manage users.php file. After that, we have given manage products as the third option. And when the admin click on this manage product, it's going to bring that admin into manage product.php file. After that, in here we have inserted our sorting part, and we have given a label as from date, and here we have our date selecting part, and we have given the input, and we have also defined its type as date, and we have given its ID as from date. After that, in here we have our to date. We have also given its input field and type as date, and then we have given its ID as to date. After that, in here we have our search button, and we have given its on click as admin sort. After that, in here we have our admin dashboard. Then in here we have displayed our daily earnings, and we have inserted a PHP script in here. From here we have taken the date, and here we have called a function as date, and we have given its format in here, and we have stored that value in variable today. And from this line we are going to take today date. After that, in here we have taken the month from our date, and we have stored it in variable this month, and we have taken the year from our date, and we have stored it in this year variable. After that, in here we have created some new variables as a, B, C, E and F, we have assigned those values as 0. After that, in here we have run a search query as select all from invoice table, and we have stored that result set in variable invoice rs. In the next line, we have checked how many rows are available in invoice rs variable, and we have stored that value in invoice num variable. Then from here we have created a for loop, and we have created a new variable as x, and we have assigned value 0. Then we have checked whether the $x variable value is less than $invoice num variable value or not. After that, we have add one value to this $x variable value. Within this for loop, in here we have taken the first row from invoice rs result set, and we have stored that value in invoice data variable. Then in the next line, we have calculated the total quantity, and we have taken the QTY value from invoice data variable, and we have add that value into $f variable, and we have stored this value in the variable $f. In the next line, we have taken the date value from invoice data variable, and we have stored it in variable d. After that, in here we have called a function as explode, and we have given a space in here. Then we have defined the variable name. Using this explode function, we can separate something using the given condition. In here we have given the condition as space. After that, we have stored that value in variable split date, and in this line we have separated our date and time. After that, in here we have accessed that date using the index 0 from split date variable, and we have stored it in variable pdate. Then in here we have checked whether the pdate variable value is equal to today variable value. If this condition is true, then in here we have taken the total value from invoice data variable, and we have add that value into variable a, and we have stored this total value in variable a. After that, in here we have taken the QTY value from invoice data variable, and we have add that value into variable c, and we have stored it in variable c. Then in the next line, in here we have again called the explode function, and this time we have given its condition as a dash, and we have given its variable as pdate. So it's going to separate the pdate variable value using this condition, and we have stored it in variable split month. In this line, we have separated date as year, month and date. After that, in the next line, we have taken the year from our split month variable, and we have stored it in variable p year. After that, we have taken the month from our split month array, and we have stored it in variable p month. In the next line, we have checked whether the p year variable value is equal to this year variable value or not. If this condition is true, then in here we have again checked whether the variable p month value is equal to this month variable value or not. If this condition is true, then in here we have taken the total from invoice data variable, and we have add that value into variable b. After that, we have assigned this variable b value into this variable b. In the next line, we have taken the QTY value from invoice data variable, and we have add that value into variable e, and we have again assigned that value into variable e. After that, in here we have printed the today earnings, and we have given its value as a PHP script when we have set to print $a variable value. After that, in here we have our monthly earning displaying part, and we have given a PHP script in here, and we have set to print variable b value in here. After that, in here we have our today sellings part, and we have printed the $C variable value in here. After that, in here we have our monthly selling part. We have printed the PHP script, and we have set to print $E variable value in here. Then in here we have our total selling, and we have given a PHP script here, and we have set to print $F variable value in here. Then in here we have our total engagement part, and we have inserted the PHP script here, and we have run a search query as select all from user table, and we have stored that value in variable user rs. In the next line, we have checked how many rows are available in user rs variable, and we have assigned that value in user num variable. Then in the next line, we have printed the PHP script, and we have set to print username variable in here. After that, in here we have displayed the total active time of that admin, and we have inserted the PHP script here. In here we have taken the date time, and here we have given its date and time, and we have stored that value in start date. After that, in here we have taken a new today date and time, and we have stored it in variable t date. After that, we have taken the time zone, and we have stored it in variable tz, and then we have set this time zone into tz variable value, and we have stored it in variable t date. In the next line, we have formatted our tdate variable value according to this format, and we have converted it into a date time, and we have stored it in variable end date. After that, in here we have taken the time difference from this started date and end date. We have used the diff function in order to take the difference between those days, and here we have given the starting date, and in here we have given the end date, and we have stored that difference in variable difference. After that, in here we have given another PHP script, and we have set to print difference variable value, and here we have given a format, and we have taken the year, and we have embedded it into name year, and then here we have taken the month, and we have embedded into month, and so on. In here days, hours, minutes, and seconds. After that part, in here we have displayed the mostly sold item, and we have inserted the PHP script here. And from here we have run a search query as select product ID column and count product ID column values as value occurrence from invoice table, where date column value is like today variable value, and group it by product ID column value, and order by value occurrence in discrete order, and we have limited the result into 1. After that, in here we have checked how many rows are available in freqrs this variable, and we have assigned that value into freqnum variable. Then in here we have check whether the freqnum variable value is larger than 0 or not. If this condition is true, then from here we have taken the first row from freqrs variable, and we have stored that value in freqdata variable. Then in the next line, we have run a search query as select all from product table, where id column value is equal to product id which has been taken from freqdata variable. In the next line, we have taken the first row from product rs variable, and we have stored it in product data variable. Then in the next line, we have run another search query as select all from images table, where product id column value is equal to product id which has been taken from freqdata variable, and we have stored that value in image rs variable. In the next line, we have taken the first row from image rs variable, and we have stored it in variable image data. Then we have again run a search query as select, and we have taken the sum from quantity, and we have printed it as quantity total from invoice table, where product id column value is equal to product id which has been taken from freqdata variable, and date column value like today variable value, and we have stored this result set in qtyrs variable. In the next line, we have taken the first row from qtyrs variable, and we have stored it in qtydata variable. Then here we have displayed that product image, and we have given a PHP script as the src attribute value of this image tag, and we have set to print code value from image data variable. After that, in here we have printed that product title, and the product quantity, and the product price in here. If this condition is false, then this else part will be executed. And in this else part, we have displayed the empty design and we have given its image src as empty.svg. Then in here we have our most famous seller displaying part, and we have inserted the PHP script here, and we have checked whether the freq num variable value is larger than 0 or not. If this condition is true, then in here we have run a search query as select all from profile image table where user email column value is equal to user email which has been taken from product data variable, and we have stored it in profile rs variable. In the next line, we have taken the first row from profile rs variable and we have stored it in variable profile data. Then we have run a search query again as select all from user table where email column value is equal to user email which has been taken from product data variable, and we have stored that value in user rs1 variable. In the next line, we have taken the first row from user rs1 variable and we have stored it in user data1 variable. After that, here we have our most famous seller tag, and in here we have our seller's profile image displaying part, and we have given its image src attribute value as a PHP script, and we have set to print path value from profile data variable. After that, in here we have printed that seller's first name and last name and the email address and the mobile number. Then in here we have our else part, and within the else part we have given a default design and we have given its profile image as new user.svg. At the bottom of our page, here we have inserted another PHP script as else, and then we have given a alert and we have printed you have not a valid user. So if the admin has not logged into our web page, then that admin will be displayed with this message. So let's go into our script.js file and look into this admin sort process. In here we have our function as admin sort. Within this function we have taken the element value which id is equal to form date, and we have stored it in variable from. In the next line, we have taken the element value which id is equal to toDate, and we have stored it in variable 2. Then we have created a form in here and we have assigned this value using these names into our form. And then in here we have created the new request and we have checked whether the request state has been changed or not from here. And if it has been changed, and we have called this function. Within this function we have checked whether the request state is equal to 4 or not. If it's equal to 4, then we have taken the response from our server. We have stored it in variable response. Then we have checked whether the response value is equal to empty or not. If this condition is true, then in here we have given an alert as please select the duration first. And if this condition is false, then we have taken the inner HTML from element which id is equal to dash and we have assigned its value as response. Then in here we have given our request method as post and destination file as admin sort process.php. And in here we have sent this request into admin sort process.php file and we have embedded our form in here. So let's go into admin sort process.php file. Here we have our admin sort process.php file. We have inserted a PHP script here. Then we have imported our connection.php file here, and then we have taken the from value from our request and we have stored it in variable from, and then we have taken the to value from our request and we have stored it in variable 2. In the next line we have created a query as select all from invoice table where, and we have stored it in variable query. Then in here we have checked whether the variable form is empty or not and to variable value is empty or not. If this condition is true, then in here we have given a print as empty. Then in the next line, if this condition is false, then in here we have checked whether the from value has been set or true value has been set or not. If this condition is true, then in here we have checked whether the from value is empty or not and true value is not empty or not. If this condition is true, then in here we have added this query part at the end of this query. And if this condition is false, then in here we have checked whether the from variable value is not empty and to variable value is empty or not. If this condition is true, then we have added this code into this code. After that, if this condition is also false, then we have checked whether the from value is empty and to variable value is not empty or not. If this condition is true, then in here we have added this code part at the end of this code. And then in here we have run a search query and we have sent that query in here and we have stored that value in variable rs. In the next line we have checked how many rows are available in variable rs and we have assigned that value in rs rows variable. Then we have created the for loop here and we have created the new variable as $x and assigned value 0 and we have checked whether the x variable value is less than rs rows variable value or not and then we have added one value to this $x variable. Within this for loop in here we have taken the first row from rs variable and we have stored it in variable invoice data. In the next line, we have taken the date from our invoice data variable and we have stored it in variable invoice data. And then in here we have used that export function again and we have given its condition as space and we have given its value as invoice date variable value. And we have stored this value in variable date. After that in here we have closed this PHP script and then in here we have inserted the design. Within this design in here we have inserted another PHP script and in here we have taken the product ID value from invoice data variable and we have stored it in variable product ID. And then in here we have run a search query as select all from images table where product ID column value is equal to variable product ID and we have stored it in variable image rs. In the next line, we have checked how many rows are available in image rs variable and we have assigned that value in image num variable. In the next line, we have taken the first row from image rs variable and we have assigned that value in image data variable. And then in here we have created a new variable as src. Then in here we have checked whether the code value from image data variable is empty or not. If this condition is true, then in here we have assigned src variable value as empty.svg image path. And if this condition is false, then in here we have assigned that src value as code value from image data variable. After that in here we have run another search query as select all from product table where id column value is equal to product id variable value. And we have stored that value in product rs variable. Then in here we have taken the first row from product rs variable and we have assigned that value in product data variable. Then we have closed that PHP script in here. Then in here we have our product image displaying part and we have given a PHP script as the value of src attribute and we have printed $src variable value in here. Then in here we have printed that product title, product price and the sold date and then in here we have our view button. We have used a anchor tag as this view button and we have given its href value as single product view.php file and we have concatenated id name and we have given its variable value as product id variable value. So let's go back into our script.js file. Within this function from here we have taken the response from our server and we have stored it in variable response. Then in here we have checked whether its value is equal to empty or not. If this condition is true, then in here we have given an alert as please select the duration first. If this condition is false, then in here we have given a code as elements in a HTML which id is equal to dash and we have assigned its value as response value. So guys, that's all for today. Thanks all of you for joining with me. See you with the next video.